Welcome to the Protractor 360 Reproductive, where we explore various complexities in society and give you answers to the different questions that you're asking yourselves out there. So today we're going to be looking at sexual reproductive health. When we speak of sexual reproductive health in Uganda, it's facing a number of challenges, despite numerous efforts by the government of Uganda to promote sexual reproductive health rights through legal frameworks and policies. And among the challenges that the sexual reproductive health is facing in Uganda is unsafe pregnancies, early pregnancies, unsafe abortions, unmet needs for contraceptives. And in studio today, I'm honored to be with two individuals from Wekuume, an organization that offers easy access to sexual health reproductive needs to youth and young adults in Uganda. Mr. Brian Nseko, we are so honored to have you here. Ms. Charlie, we are honored to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So Ms. Charlie, kindly greet our audience out there.
Hello there. I am Lynette Mtimbi and I'm the social media team lead at Wekuume. Today we are here to talk about sexual and reproductive health. We'd like the young people out there to understand how important it is to protect themselves and have the accurate information when it comes to sexual and reproductive health.
Mr. Brian, kindly greet our audience out there.
Yes, thank you so much, Patricia. By the names of Bright Nseko from Wekuume, and I'm so happy to be here today. From Wekuume, we are also focusing on sexual reproductive health, as my colleague has just said, and basically it embodies quite a lot of things, but we are looking forward to mostly focusing on the young people at universities as our major focus, and I'm so excited to share with you all.
So as you've heard from our guests, we are going to be talking about sexual reproductive health today. And when we speak of sexual reproductive health, most people relate it to sex life and they forget all the other issues that are entailed within this great concept. So I would like Ms. Charlotte to kindly explain to us what is sexual reproductive health so that it can make sense to a youth out there or any other viewer out there that is watching the Protractor today.
Thank you so much. Sexual and reproductive health is about knowing your body and understanding its functions very well, understanding your relationships and taking charge of your choices. This enables the young people out there be in charge of the choices they make. For example, we have being in control of your sexual life. You have to know that we have contraceptives. You have to be in control of that. So when you have sexual and reproductive health education, you will be able to make the right choices when it comes to choosing the right contraceptive method, for example.
As you heard from Charlotte, sexual reproductive health involves more than sex life. Knowing your body, understanding your body, having to use contraceptives where need be. So Mr. Bright,
Yes.
knowing what sexual reproductive health means, what are the importances or what benefits does a youth out there get from knowing sexual reproductive health?
My colleague has just explained, I think there are a number of things that a youth there can get to know about and also think about when you talk about sexual reproductive health. It goes as far as also talking about the rights the person has about sexual reproductive health or their sexual activity in their different spaces. And of course, there are different rights that you can think about. You have the right to maybe sometimes consent if you really wish to have, sexual relationships with some people or sexual activities with different people. You have different rights to have contraceptives. You have rights to probably also maybe access different services from different health facilities, or you even have rights to information, basically. So I think it's a broader subject that we can talk about when we talk about sexual reproductive health. But as my colleague said, it goes as far as also understanding our bodies. And from our end, we think this goes as well as into maybe protecting your body as yourself. it goes as far as you personally thinking about who you are, understanding your body, and then trying to understand what you need to do in order to protect yourself much better.
There are lots of misconceptions surrounding sexual reproductive health here in Uganda. How has Wekuume as an organization helped young adults out there to unlearn some of these misconceptions and then learn the truth behind sexual reproductive health, so that they can get to understand their bodies and get to know what they're supposed to do to keep themselves safe?
Basically, what I can say from my perspective, I'll give what exactly Wekuume is all about, or who we are. So Wekuume is an initiative that is dealing with, of course, into sexual reproductive health, but our focus goes as far as maybe trying to understand how easy we can provide these sexual reproductive health services or products to the young people. So by this, we've generated some ideas where we thought we could develop an app, a mobile app, where people could just easily link up with all this information, just easily access the products via our shop, and also maybe probably get direct information from the social workers or health workers, in that it becomes as much easier to them as possible, because we've realized from our perspective that young people sometimes have difficulties in going to school medical facilities, meeting out there their health personnel to talk about this.
Some of them get nervous or a bit shy to move to someone in person and say, you know what, I'm going through something like this, or I have been sexually assaulted. Or someone, like, you're in secondary school, like senior one, senior two, no one is expecting you to be sexually active at that point. So how do you move into the nurse, the school nurse, and you're like, I'm in need of contraceptives? That could actually even an exposure, not even a suspension.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
That's quite an interesting initiative.
yes, exactly. So it's, I think, from that direction that we thought, okay, probably this could give, another space or comfort zone where people could just directly go talk about these issues with other health facilities, or even personnel out there who can help out in instances where people just don't feel that comfort to talk about these issues directly to these healthy personnel. So Wekuume basically developed this app to ease this access, to also provide these comfort spaces where people just talk about these topics. People just maybe probably buy things from every store they wish to, but just delivered to their doorsteps. So I think with this app, there is this kind of ease where you just go to our shop, request for something, and you just have it at your doorstep. Then we also have other slots where you have interactions with other people out there that have maybe different challenges.
Or a similar challenge
Yes,
to what
exactly.
I'm going through.
Different
So
or
is it
similar.
like the way people have like counseling groups, something like that?
Yeah, it's more related to that. We have our professional counselors in this kind of setting. We could call it a group, and people could just interact there and also get this guidance from there. But we also have slots where we think we could provide some direct services like circumcision. So for this, somebody can just book an appointment for circumcision, and we could refer them to some of the health facilities that we've tried to collaborate with. Most importantly, we thought about government, since it's also offering the free services of circumcision. But of course, there are some people who feel like they want to do it the private way. We also have that slot on the other side, but it involves a certain fee. So if you wish to have it private, of course, we shall direct you to a very good facility, but with a certain fee.
That you have to pay to make
Yeah, that you have to pay, of course, to make it happen. To the other side as well. So yeah, there are quite a number of things we have there, but I've tried to talk about some of them as of now.
So Miss Lynette, according to what Mr. Bright has spoken about, Wekuume offers a variety of services to the youth and the young adults out there. So how do you measure the success or evaluate the effectiveness of the programs that you have?
Maybe the events we have out there, We have an app, like you said, so more downloads mean that young people are getting the app to be able to get the services we are offering. Being able to have young people come to us and they are ready to get tested, that is such a big deal.
Like
Because-
HIV testing.
Yes, because
Oh, that's
we have,
interesting.
we usually have in-person events where we go to schools, and most times these students don't want to be tested. They're scared. One will say, I'd rather stay positive,
They say
but
it's
they
better
don't
to-
want to find out. Yeah, they don't want to get tested. They're really scared. So when we get to a point where these young people, when we have the events, when they can just freely come and say, I want to get tested, that means a lot to us.
That means
success.
like your programs are making an impact. in the
Yes.
community.
Because we want them to remember what you said about sexual and reproductive health. We want them to understand their bodies. We want them to also feel free, because Wekuume is here to create safe spaces for them. They should not be scared. They should be open to come and talk about maybe the itchiness they feel, and they're afraid of talking to anyone, the unease they feel any time. They can come to us. So when we get to a point where they can freely come to us, reach us out on maybe our platforms, they can DM us, they can call us. That means we are doing some good job. When they are free to come and talk about sexual and reproductive health, that means that Wekuume is moving, and we are making the strides we are hoping to make.
That's really impressive. So, Mr. Bright,
Yes.
we have seen the government of Uganda making numerous efforts to ensure that the public out there has sexual reproductive health rights and that they are well respected. We have various organizations in Uganda doing the same, but we still have those lingering gaps that are propelling Uganda to stay backward when it comes to sexual reproductive health rights. So, what are some of those gaps that the Wekuume is trying to fill, just like all the other organizations? Or what are you doing differently that these organizations are doing?
Yeah, actually, we totally appreciate the government of Uganda and all the efforts it has put into this process, because as you all know that this is not something that can just work upon something quickly and it goes that way. People have different mindsets, and it's also about the misconceptions that come from our backgrounds or culture.
We have
So-
social, culture.
Exactly. So there are a number of factors that might limit the quick process of what maybe the government intends to put across all these issues. But from our understanding or end, we think first of all it's doing great, and the other, of course, stakeholders that you talked about are also doing quite a lot. So from our end, we think our approach is quite also interesting, because we are trying to go using the internet-based, like the app is internet-based, and we think this is a new era where people
Yeah,
are
when
into the social
Everything
media.
has been digitalized.
Yes, so
Someone
the
can
digital-
access
yes.
numerous services from the company.
Exactly, and I think government is also trying to do its level best to become digital. So I think from our end, this is really very, very, very key, because many young people now are using the digital space, and we are trying to capture that space as well, to see that we make ends meet, giving them the information first and foremost, but also bring the services closer to them, because we think the fact actually that we are also young people, we think they might have the same concepts like we do. So we feel like they must have these ideas that, okay, maybe we would have had an internet option where we just type something.
You just type
and,
something and
you
you
know,
get
you
your
get
response.
it.
But then
Yeah,
aren't
so-
there like do you really express yourself freely through a message, or can you actually express yourself better through a message than, let's say, someone in person?
It could be both ways. For example, just imagine somebody shy. how would that person,
That's perfect
have.
for them.
Yes, exactly. So there are two ways that we can approach this. So we have in-person events, just like my colleague said, where we engage them physically, but we also have this option of the online. In case you feel like, okay, I can't express my problem physically, then I can maybe have an interaction online.
So during the physical events that you have, do you have like specialists present to examine these guys?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We've collaborated with a number of stakeholders, and this also includes, of course, government through the Ministry of Health. And we've gotten some social workers or health workers that are always supporting us in this field. When it comes to testing, when it comes to counseling, of course, this requires somebody with the health experiences and how to handle all these issues. So these have been so helpful. We have to always engage the public or our target group through them in case somebody has STIs questions or HIV problems or any sexual related issues. We try to always refer them accordingly. Social workers could do the counseling, the medical personnel could do the testings and all that requirement and the prescriptions as well. But we also have now new partners that we are hoping to have that would tackle some more questions related to the rights, because we think this is something very important yes. So we are handling it as well on the other side.
When we come to the contraceptives or the family planning,
Yes.
so there are people that do not have access to these products or to these services. How does Wekuume support these individuals that cannot afford the family planning?
Yes. Thank you for that question as well. As I said earlier, we've collaborated with government and we really appreciate the efforts that government has given to us as well. For the Ministry of Health, we've gotten some few contraceptives, sorry. Yes, the word has been. Contraceptives, and these include free condoms, some free testing kits. But of course, we are not limited to only that. We are also trying to get other stakeholders who can provide other items, just like you said. It could be pills or it could be anything. So Wekuume basically is on the in-person events always providing free condoms to those that need them. Actually, it could be both female condoms or male condoms. We are also giving sometimes free testing kits for HIV, since we are also receiving a few, but we are also planning to, those are self-tests actually, not the medical ones that need pricking, so we are always only giving the self-test kits. But beyond that, we are also thinking about maybe getting other stakeholders that can help us get more contraceptives, and we are also partnering with some other few partners actually that wish to also support us with the girl child, providing them with sanitary pads.
Yeah, because
basically,
of menstrual hygiene.
Yes,
so
the menstrual hygiene, and this could be basically, we are trying to focus on the reusable ones because I think this could give a longer lifespan of usage compared to.
As you focus on the reusable, do not forget to educate these guys on how to maintain them like hygienically, because poor hygiene concerning them could lead them to getting infections.
Yes, exactly. That's very important. And from our focus, we are trying to engage more with our partners because they are telling us that they actually wish to do some education beyond only using them, or
Also making them?
yeah, also making them. So I think the process is much better if they understand the concept of, first of all, how to make it,
and then they could get to
how to clean them, how to So I think they would receive the whole entire package, and which I think is more sustainable.
And that would benefit them both health-wise and also contribute to the economic development of the country.
Exactly.
Because they're getting a skill, and in turn of the skill, these products could be made and then sold on the market, and it will contribute to the economic value of the country.
Exactly.
Yes. Madam Charles, or Madam Lynette, I'm sorry about that. So, we have had misconceptions where people disregard sex education, or we are in a generation where parents are afraid of talking about sex with their children or educating their children about sex and leaving this role to teachers or people out there. And we are getting children misled by strangers on the internet because these children, failing to get answers from their parents, are resorting to the internet to get answers to the questions that are running through their mind. Because we're waiting an adolescent, seeing their body change, but they cannot have an explanation for the body changes that they're undergoing. So, what do you think about the misconception that looks at sex education as useless and baseless?
Well, thank you so much for this question. This is such a big issue, honestly, and it's a crucial topic. People are not ready for this conversation. The parents are really scared and they shy away from this topic. If you'd ask me, I would say that when your child grows, I think at 3 years, your child has started being inquisitive. They start asking, Mommy, Daddy, what does this mean? What is this? They have started naming things. They've started going to school. So sexual education should also be part of that. Let the kids know their body parts. Let them know the real names. And as sexual education can progress with time. You can talk to them with the language they can understand, tailored to their understanding. A 3-year-old won't be able to understand as a 13-year-old or 25 or 16. So parents need to really take this up and talk to their children. Start slowly. Let them know their body parts. Let them know about good touch and bad touch.
Yeah, let them know
because that is how we end up with maybe a child that's been defiled.
Yes.
They can't tell their mother. They can't tell their father. They're scared.
So they do not even know that they have been defiled.
They can't know.
They will just say Uncle so and so was playing with me.
Yes.
This and this happened to
Yes.
me. Or even shy to say something
Exactly. So you see, when you don't deal with that from that age, that is how we end up with adults who can't, now you're an adult and you also can't talk to your children because this was not taught to you when you were young.
Mm.
So when you don't talk about these things, that means we are losing a whole generation and we end up with children who shy away from sexual education, and that is why Wekuume is here, to ensure that people can freely talk about sexual education. They should be free. They should be free to ask any questions without feeling judged or
Misperceived.
yes, misperceived. You see, we have a misconception that girls, anytime a girl talks about sexual education, she's termed as maybe promiscuous. You're a bad girl. Why are you talking about those things? But it's important to talk about that. It's important to bring the boys on board on education like menstruation. Let the boys know what menstruation is. Because most of the time we leave it to the girls. But you see, this
Even when they are conducting those sessions in school, like let's say it's a mixed school, they will separate the girls from
Can
the
you
boys.
imagine? But these boys have brothers at homes.
Have sisters.
They have sisters at home, and they'll grow and end up with classmates, colleagues. They'll have wives and daughters in future. So you're there, you're a dad, you have a daughter, and you can't talk to her. She's like, Daddy, this has happened. Now you want to go and look for Senga somewhere. You want to go and look for someone. You talk to her, but you're the father. And this kind of information should come from a trusted source. You as a parent or a guardian, you're a trusted source. So let us talk to our children. Let us open up. Let us not be shy about these conversations. Because talking about these things helps them by the time they get to 16, like you say, like 13, their body is changing. They know what is going on. If the brother says the sister that the breasts are growing, they should not be like, maybe they start making fun of them. The boy understands, the girl understands. They can support each other. So without this education, we are missing a mark. And if we don't have this education, that is why early pregnancy is still such a big, big issue. We have 13-year-olds getting pregnant. 13-year-old. Why? Because they don't have the right information. They are there. Parents can't even talk about contraceptives with their children. They think I'm spoiling her. How can I talk about
things like
contraceptives?
when I talk of contraceptives, I'm paving way for this child to go and start having sex. That was so insightful, Miss Lynette. So, Mr. Bride, could you kindly give us your last remarks as we come to the end of this wonderful conversation?
Yes, thank you so much. And I would say, first of all, to my fellow young people, that it's very important, first of all, to protect yourself. As our saying says, Wekuume, it starts with you, and it's very important that you protect yourself. There is nobody else that will protect you far beyond yourself. Those are just, supplements or compliments that will come from somebody else out there, but it starts with you. So it's better that you protect yourself to the maximum. And being young people, I would say that let's utilize this opportunity. Download our app as Wekuume app. I think it has quite a lot of things that you need out there. You will get a very good experience with us, and we are happy to always get back to you in case of any questions.
Thank you so much. My parting shot would be, one, let the parents take up the space. Let them talk to the children about sexual and reproductive health. It's very important. Let the parents do that. We also need to encourage the girls. We're talking about to protect yourself. Let us teach the girls to protect their wombs. They need to protect themselves. They can't keep, you're there, you get pregnant recklessly. Now they think of other options, maybe to terminate it. Let's protect our wombs and ensure that we are well educated, and feel free to reach us on our platforms, all our social media platforms. You can get more information. For the people who are on TikTok, we have a page there. You can get more information on TikTok, more medical tips. You can DM us, you can call us. Please feel free to reach us, talk about any issue that is related to sexual and reproductive health. Thank you so much.
That has been following us from the beginning of the program till we've gotten to its end. I hope that you've gotten to learn what sexual reproductive health means, its purpose and its benefits. And I hope you've gotten to discard the various misconceptions that you had about this issue. And from now on, you're going to take great care of yourself, knowing your body, guarding your body jealously from anything that puts it to harm. This was the Protractor 360, feeling the America. Until next time.